They tossed her in like she was nothing. One moment, Lily Harper was sweeping dust from the stone patio at the Whitman estate. The next, she was sprawled on the floor of a locked dog kennel, facing a 100-pound German shepherd that looked straight into her eyes like he could see her soul. Hunter's amber gaze didn't waver, he didn't bark, he didn't attack, he just stared. And in that heartbeat, when everyone watching braced for chaos, something completely unexpected happened. Lily didn't move. She lay still on the ground, breathing shallowly, her heart pounding like a drum inside her chest. Her jeans were torn, her elbow aching, but she remained frozen. Hunter's ears flicked once, his muscles tensed, and then he tilted his head, as if he were trying to figure her out. That instant, silent and strange, was the turning point. No one could have predicted it. But it changed everything. The Whitman property stretched across 5 acres of perfectly trimmed Connecticut luxury. There was a mansion with marble finishes, a garage filled with imported cars, a swimming pool the size of a city park, and a 12-year-old girl who knew how to stay invisible. Lily Harper didn't belong there. She wasn't a guest or family. She was just the housekeeper's daughter. Her mother, Karen, worked as the live-in maid. Their home was a worn-down cottage at the edge of the estate, and the job came with no guarantees. If Mr. Whitman didn't like how the table was set, they'd be gone by sunrise. So Lily kept her head low. She didn't speak unless spoken to, and stayed busy mopping, sweeping, dusting rooms that barely had a speck of dust. That's how you stayed safe, especially around Chase Whitman. At 15, he was already well-versed in cruelty. He strutted around like he owned the world, always smirking, always needling, and always surrounded by other kids just like him, spoiled and untouchable. That morning, Lily had been sweeping the pool deck ahead of Chase's get-together. Her arms ached from scrubbing tile before dawn, her stomach empty. She hadn't eaten yet, but she worked quickly. Her mum had warned her, don't give them an excuse. Stay away from the dog. The dog was Hunter, the estate's latest acquisition, bought from some elite breeder in Europe, as Mr. Whitman liked to boast. But Hunter didn't act like a prize-winning show dog. He growled, he paced, he snapped. He'd already injured 2 professional trainers, sending them to the ER with deep bites. Now he lived alone in a steel enclosure, out on the lawn, dangerous, unpredictable, and unwanted. To the Whitmans, Hunter was a mistake. But to Lily, he felt familiar. Not in a literal sense, but in a deeper, wordless way. Something hurt. Something trapped. She had just finished circling the patio again, when the guests arrived, mostly flashy convertibles. Music blasting, laughter far too loud for so early in the morning. Chase stepped out first, wearing swim trunks and mirrored shades. There she is, he shouted, lifting his drink and pointing. Little Cinderella. The group chuckled. Hey, broom girl, a girl yelled. Did your mum pack your lunch, or are you eating our leftovers? Lily kept her head down and swept faster. Hey, Chase, a boy said. What's with the giant cage over there? That your killer dog? Chase smirked. That's Hunter, supposed to be a guard dog, but he's more like a fur-covered grenade. Bit his last trainer straight through the arm. They're putting him down next week. Another kid laughed awkwardly. Dude, seriously. Can we see him? You want to see him? Chase asked, eyes lighting up. Better yet, Weiner, see what happens if we throw someone in with him. Lily froze. She didn't see it coming. 2 of the boys grabbed her, whispering, laughing, just a joke, don't scream. Before she could react, they shoved her through the kennel gate. It slammed behind her. Hunter stood. The world spun. Lily's face flushed with heat. Her limbs trembled as she scrambled back. She braced for snarls, for teeth, for pain, but none came. Silence. Hunter didn't charge. His head tilted, his ears stayed relaxed. Calm, curious. He took a step toward her, then another. Lily stayed motionless. He stopped, mere inches from her outstretched hand, sniffed, and then he sat. Just like that. The laughter faded into stunned silence. From the back porch, a scream rang out. Karen Harper dropped the tray she'd been carrying, eyes locked on her daughter inside the pen. She ran, but Mr. Whitman blocked her path with an upraised hand. Don't, he said, voice low. That dog's unstable, but I said don't. Everyone watched, frozen, as Hunter gently nudged Lily's hand with his nose. It wasn't threatening, it was almost protective. She's calming him, someone murmured. No, Chase barked. This isn't how it's supposed to go. Lily slowly lifted her hand, resting it behind Hunter's ear. He leaned into it. She smiled, tears glistening. Mr. Whitman's voice sliced through the quiet. 3 days. Karen blinked. What? She has 3 days to prove this dog is worth keeping. If not, he's out and so are both of you. Lily's hand stayed on Hunter's fur. I'll do it, she said softly. Every head turned. You, Mr. Whitman raised an eyebrow. You're not a dog trainer. You're a housekeeper's kid, maybe, Lily replied. But I saw something in him no one else bothered to look for. That night, sleep didn't come. Lily lay awake in the cramped room she shared with her mother, staring at the ceiling, reliving every second of the encounter. Everyone called Hunter dangerous, a threat. But what she saw was a fighter, wounded and lost. And tomorrow, she'd find out why. Before sunrise, Lily knelt in the damp grass beside Hunter's enclosure. She hadn't touched her cereal. She hadn't said much. All she could hear in her head were Mr. Whitman's words. 3 days or you're out. It wasn't a dare. It was a warning. And Lily knew better than most when Gregory Whitman made a threat. He meant it. Inside the pen, Hunter sat exactly as she'd left him, still watchful, his tail curled like a question mark. Morning, boy, she whispered. You remember me? His ears twitched. She took that as a yes. From her backpack, she pulled out a cold chicken tender she'd saved from dinner. Holding it through the bars, she spoke softly. You hungry? Hunter didn't move. Not yet. Then Lily tried again, this time with a bit more authority. Sit. Hunter stayed on his feet, eyes locked onto hers. Lily frowned, her voice softening. Okay, maybe we're not there yet. She placed the chicken just out of his reach and sat cross-legged in the grass. Like this, she said, patting her jeans. Sit. Hunter tilted his head. After a few moments, he lowered his body to the ground, mimicking her exactly. Lily blinked in surprise. Well, I'll be darned. She nudged the chicken through the fence. Hunter sniffed it, then took it gently from her hand so gently. It reminded her of a service dog. That's when she heard footsteps behind her. Turning, she saw Frank Delaney approaching the estate's longtime groundskeeper. He wore faded work gloves and a flannel shirt. And his weathered face looked like it had witnessed a lifetime of seasons. Well now, he said, stopping a few feet away. That dog hasn't accepted food from anyone since he arrived. I think he remembers something, Lily replied. Delaney nodded thoughtfully. He remembers being seen. That's something most folks forget to do. He lowered himself to the ground beside her, slow and careful, making sure not to startle Hunter. Mind if I stick around? For the next hour, Lily practiced the basics. Sit, stay, come. Sometimes Hunter obeyed. Sometimes he didn't. But he never growled or snapped. He remained calm, far too calm for a dog labeled dangerous. You trained dogs before? Delaney asked, watching as Lily rewarded Hunter with another piece of chicken. No, Lily said. I stayed up last night watching videos, reading about positive reinforcement, learning about body language. I didn't sleep much. Delaney chuckled. Could have fooled me. You've got better instincts than some folks who do this for a living. He studied Hunter carefully. This dog's not just smart. He's been trained for something serious. Like what? Military, maybe, Delaney said. It's in the way he moves, the way he waits. He's not your average backyard barker. Lily's eyes widened. You think he was a canine or something like that? Close enough, Delaney replied. But whatever he used to be, someone broke him. And if he's handled the wrong way, that hurt turns into fear. And fear, he paused. Fear turns into something worse. Later that afternoon, Lily joined her mother in the main house to help prepare lunch. As usual, she moved quietly, wiping counters, folding napkins into perfect shapes. Clearing dishes without a word, Savannah Whitman strolled into the kitchen. Mid-afternoon, dressed in a tennis skirt, phone in hand, pretending not to notice Lily, as she poured herself a glass of lemonade. She paused. "You were with Hunter this morning," she said, her tone flat. Lily stiffened. "Yes, ma'am. You're not scared of him?" "I was," Lily admitted. "But now, I think he's just scared too." Savannah looked at her for a moment, then reached into her oversized tote bag and pulled out a thin paperback. She slid it across the counter. "It's about training German shepherds. Figured you might need it." Lily's eyes widened. "Why are you helping me?" Savannah shrugged. "Because I saw what you did yesterday, and because my brother's a jerk." Then she turned and walked away. That night, Lily sat cross-legged on the floor of their tiny bedroom, the training guide open in her lap, and a flashlight balanced in her hand. Outside, the wind stirred the trees. Crickets chirped softly. Her mum leaned against the doorway, arms folded. "You sure about this, sweetheart?" Lily looked up. "I think he's more than what people say he is." Karen exhaled. "Even if you're right, Mr. Whitman doesn't like being proven wrong, and Chase, he could have gotten me killed," Lily said, cutting her off. "I know," her mum replied gently, "and I'm proud of how you've handled yourself. But pride doesn't pay the bills. Just be careful." Lily nodded, but her thoughts were already back in the enclosure. The next morning, she returned with a new plan. Hunter was already at the gate, tail thumping once against the dirt as she approached. This time, she brought a leash. Carefully, she clipped it onto his collar through the bars before stepping inside. Just like the articles had advised. Shoulder's calm voice. Hunter didn't resist. He simply sat and waited. "Let's take a walk, boy." Step by step, they paced the inside of the enclosure. Lily gave basic commands: heel, sit, stay. Some he followed with precision. Others he hesitated on. But never once did he growl or show signs of aggression. Midway through, Delaney returned, this time holding a small silver whistle. "This here's a military command whistle," he explained. "Used for silent signals." He blew a short, distinct pattern. Hunter's ears perked instantly. "Now you try," Delaney said, handing the whistle. To her, Lily copied the sound. Hunter immediately dropped into a perfect down, smooth, controlled, like muscle memory. Lily stared. "He knows it." Delaney nodded slowly. "This dog's not broken. He's trained. He just lost the person who meant something to him." Later, as Lily swept the back deck, she heard footsteps again. Only this time, it wasn't Mr. Delaney, it was Chase. He leaned against the railing with his arms crossed, studying her like she was some kind of specimen under a microscope. "So, you really believe that dog's worth saving?" he asked. Lily continued sweeping, unfazed. "It's not about belief. I know he is." "You're wasting your time," he said with a smirk. "My dad already made the call. Some evaluators are coming the day after tomorrow. Once they see Hunter's file, that'll be the end of it. That dog's as good as gone." Lily stopped and looked up. "Maybe he scares you because he sees right through you." The smirk vanished from Chase's face. He took a step forward. "Watch it. Kids of the help don't talk like that around here." "Then maybe it's time someone did." That night, rain swept over the hills, thunder rolling in waves as Lily lay in bed, paging through Mr. Delaney's old notes. They were handwritten records from his time with a military dog named Rex during the Vietnam War. One sentence jumped out at her, penned in a shaky scrawl. "They know more than we do. They feel what we're too proud to say. A true canine doesn't just follow commands. He understands." Outside her window, lightning briefly illuminated Hunter's silhouette. He wasn't asleep. He was awake, alert, waiting. Day 2 was coming fast, with new challenges and even less time. But Lily didn't feel fear anymore. She had a plan, she had a partner, and maybe, just maybe, a real shot at doing something that mattered. Lily Harper woke before dawn on the second day, her heart thudding like a drum. The storm had passed, but the ground was soaked, and the air hung thick with humidity. She threw on her oldest jeans, a worn hoodie, and tied her hair back with a shoelace. Around her neck, she looped the training whistle Mr. Delaney had given her. The world outside looked calm and renewed, but inside, she was anything but. Less than 2 days stood between her and the arrival of Dr. Barrett. The evaluator, Mr. Whitman, had called in. One wrong move, one bark, one show of aggression, and Hunter would be done, not rehomed, not retired, gone. But this wasn't just about Hunter anymore. It was about protecting the place her mother called home, and proving to herself that she could do something that actually made a difference. When she reached Hunter's enclosure, he was already awake, standing tall and still in the fog, like a sentinel. "Hey buddy," Lily said gently. "You ready?" His ears twitched forward, then back, then forward again. It was as close to a yes as she'd ever gotten. She entered slowly, leash in hand. The gate clicked shut behind her. Hunter didn't flinch. "Okay," she whispered. "Let's see what you've got." They started with the basic sit, stay, come. But this time, something was different. Hunter wasn't just obeying, he was anticipating, responding with the precision of an animal who'd done it all before. Mr. Delaney arrived around 7 a.m., a cup of coffee in one hand and a weathered duffel bag in the other. "You two are up early," he noted as he watched Hunter drop into a perfect down at Lily's command. "We've got work to do," Lily said, out of breath but beaming. "He's not just learning, he's remembering." Delaney set the bag on the ground and unzipped it. Inside was a small pouch that gave off a faint scent of herbs and metal. "What is that?" Lily asked. "Military dogs are trained to identify certain sense explosives, narcotics, blood," he explained. "This pouch has a decoy scent I used with Rex. Let's see if your guy still has the nose for it." He tossed the pouch into a patch of tall grass, then turned to Lily. "Tell him to find it." She looked at Hunter. "Seek," she said, pointing. Hunter hesitated just a beat, then took off, nose to the ground. A moment later, he paused, circled, and pawed once at the grass. "He found it," Lily breathed. "No question," Delaney said, voice tight. "This dog's had real high level." They spent the next 3 hours running drills. Hunter scanned the perimeter on command, barked once at a simulated threat, then held position when told. Not once did he growl or lose focus. His eyes stayed locked on Lily. "I think he's starting to trust me," she said during a water break. Delaney nodded, wiping his brow. "Trust like that isn't common in dogs like him. You've done something right." Lily scratched Hunter gently behind the ears. "Maybe we're both just learning not to be afraid anymore." By lunchtime, she was back inside helping her mum set the dining room for Mr. Whitman's business guests. The house felt stiff and cold like it always did when he entertained Lily. Her mum whispered, casting a glance over her shoulder. "He asked about you this morning, Mr. Whitman." Karen nodded, wanted to know how training's going. "I told him, you've been working hard. That's good, right?" "I think so," Karen said, though her voice wavered. "Just keep doing what you're doing. Stay focused, no mistakes." Lily swallowed. What if it's not enough? Her mother looked at her, exhausted but gentle. "Then we go down swinging." Later that day, Lily brought out a makeshift long lead, something she'd cobbled together from old rope and a retired horse harness. It wasn't perfect, but it would let her walk Hunter outside the enclosure for the first time. She opened the gate and clipped the lead to his collar. Her breath catching in her throat. "Let's go," she said. Hunter stepped out calmly, staying close. He didn't bolt or sniff around. He walked beside her with steady discipline. They circled the backyard twice. A rabbit darted past the fence. Hunter froze, ears up, but when Lily whispered, "Leave it," he turned back without hesitation. It felt like walking a veteran through a landscape he'd once known, not anxious, just aware. They stopped by the back terrace. Above them, someone was watching. Savannah Whitman leaned on the railing, her phone forgotten on the table. Their eyes met. For a long moment, they just looked at each other. Then Savannah gave a small wave. Lily lifted her hand in return. That evening, As Lily brushed dried grass from her jeans, a voice made her jump. "Where'd you learn to train a war dog?" It was Chase, standing just outside the pen, arms crossed, eyes narrowed. Lily stood, tense. "He's not a war dog. He's just smart. He's military," Chase snapped. "That's what you and Delaney have been whispering about, isn't it? You think my dad bought some ex-soldier mutt?" Lily didn't respond. Chase stepped closer, eyes locked on Hunter. "He should have ripped your face off the other day. That's what everyone expected." Hunter's ears flattened. Lily instinctively stepped between them. "Back off," she said firmly. Chase just smirked. "You're not going to win this. You know that, right? My dad's bringing in some specialist tomorrow, Barrett, or whatever his name is. The type who signs a euthanasia order with one flick of the pen." "Then I'll prove him wrong," Lily replied. Chase shook his head and gave a low, mocking laugh. "You're not saving that dog. You're just dragging out the end." He turned and walked off, tension trailing in his wake like a storm cloud. That night, Lily couldn't sleep. She sat outside the pen under a patchy sky, flashlight in one hand and Mr. Delaney's weathered notebook in the other. They were old training logs from his time with Rex, a military dog he'd worked with years ago. She read each line slowly, her lips moving as she took in every word like it mattered. "Rex knows when I'm scared before I even do. He responds to emotions I don't recognize in myself. That's what makes him more than a pet. That's what makes him a partner." Hunter lay nearby, head resting on his paws, eyes half-lidded in the dark. "Is that what you were, boy?" Lily whispered. "Someone's partner." He didn't stir, but his tail gave a small flick. Lily reached through the bars and gently laid her hand on his back. "We've got one day left to prove you're more than what they say you are." A breeze rustled the trees. Hunter looked up at her, his gaze steady as if to say, "Let them try." The next morning, Lily was mid-routine, running leash drills inside Hunter's enclosure when she spotted the black SUV turning through the estate. Gates, her stomach dropped. This wasn't supposed to happen yet. The vehicle rolled slowly over the gravel drive, each crunch of the tires sending a jolt through her spine. The July heat was already settling in. But suddenly, Lily felt a chill creep through her chest. It was just after 9 a.m., and Dr. Ronald Barrett had arrived a full day early. She dropped the rope lead and bolted across the lawn. From the porch, Gregory Whitman stood in a crisp blue button-down, sleeves rolled to his elbows, smile calculated and composed as he stepped forward to greet the man emerging from the SUV. Dr. Barrett didn't look like someone who worked with animals. He looked like he could take on a bear bare-handed. His hair was cropped silver, his arms thick and scarred beneath rolled-up sleeves. The way he scanned the grounds before even stepping forward told Lily everything he missed nothing. "Mr. Whitman," he greeted, voice gravelly but steady. "Dr. Barrett, welcome to the estate," Gregory replied, gesturing toward the house. "Let's get you some coffee before the evaluation." As the men walked toward the house, Lily hovered off to the side, gripping her notebook like a shield. Her second morning with Hunter had barely begun, and now the final test had arrived early. She sprinted back to the pen where Mr. Delaney was uncoiling a hose. Unaware of what had just pulled into the driveway. "He's here," Lily panted. Delaney looked up. "Who?" "The evaluator, Dr. Barrett. He's already here." Delaney froze, hose slipping from his fingers. "That's not supposed to happen until tomorrow. Tell that to Mr. Whitman." They locked eyes for a moment. Then Delaney gave a single, sharp nod. "All right then, we adapt." They had under an hour. Delaney barked commands with military precision. Lily worked Hunter through everything: leash drills, halts, recall, and focused sitting. They moved to retrievals, response to verbal commands, composure under simulated pressure. Hunter didn't just perform, he anticipated. Every move was sharp, instinctive, like he was tuned in to Lily's every breath. At one point, Lily stumbled over a loose stone. Before she hit the ground, Hunter had turned, planted himself beside her. Protective but calm. Delaney watched from just outside the gate, eyes narrowed. "That dog's a damn professional," he muttered. They're going to see it. They have. Meanwhile, in the main house, coffee was being poured, and pleasantries exchanged. Upstairs, Savannah Whitman lingered in the shadows at the top of the staircase, listening to every word. His name's Hunter, Gregory said smoothly, stirring. His coffee. He came from a Massachusetts breeder. Top bloodlines, but he's shown aggression since day one. Barrett said nothing, flipping open a narrow leather notebook. Gregory went on. He's bitten 2 trainers. Nearly went after one of our guests. My wife won't even go near the pen. And now, a 12-year-old girl is training him. Barrett asked, eyes still on the page. Gregory hesitated. It's a unique situation. She formed a bond with him under unusual circumstances. We gave her 3 days to show whether he was worth keeping. Barrett snapped the notebook shut. Let's meet him. The group made their way across the back lawn, Gregory in front, Barrett beside him, and Victoria following a few steps behind. Inside the enclosure, Lily stood next to Hunter, who sat perfectly still at her side. She looked up as the trio approached, doing everything she could to hold onto her composure. Savannah now trailed behind, close enough to watch, but far enough to remain unnoticed. Dr. Barrett stopped a few yards from the pen. He looked at Lily first, then the dog, then back at her again. So you're the girl, he said plainly. Yes, sir, she replied, keeping her voice steady. You think this dog is just misunderstood? I don't think it, sir, I know it. Barrett tilted his head slightly. What have you taught him? I didn't teach him anything, I just helped him remember. There was the faintest twitch in his eyebrow before he turned to Gregory. Let me observe. What followed turned out to be the most nerve-wracking hour of Lily Harper's life. Barrett conducted a thorough behavioral evaluation. Sudden noises, unexpected movements, a suitcase rolling by, a tarp flapping in the wind. He even had a clipboard dropped near the pen. Hunter hardly reacted. Barrett then asked Lily to issue commands: sit, stay, heel. Hunter obeyed each one promptly and precisely. Then came a surprise. Let's see how he responds to someone else, Barrett said. A silence fell. Then a quiet voice came from behind them. I've worked with him too, Savannah said. Everyone turned. Victoria gasped. Savannah? No. Barrett looked intrigued. You've handled the dog. She showed me how, Savannah said, nodding. Toward Lily. Hunter listens to me. Gregory's face went pale. You've been inside the pen? Yes, Savannah answered, defiant. And I'm still here. Barrett motioned her forward. Let's see. Lily held her breath as Savannah stepped into the enclosure. She gave 3 basic commands: sit down and stay. Hunter followed each one with ease. He even gave her hand a gentle lick. For the first time that day, Barrett smiled. Interesting. Then he did something unexpected. He asked everyone to step back. Just me, now. He approached the gate and gave a command in a language Lily didn't understand. German. Hunter immediately straightened, his posture rigid, tails still. Another command followed, and Hunter circled, sat, then laid flat. Like a trained soldier, awaiting orders. I knew it, Delaney whispered. Barrett gave 3 sharp blasts on a military-style whistle. Hunter ran to the far end of the pen, scanned the area, then returned and sat quietly at Barrett's side. Barrett nodded slowly. Elite training, no doubt. I'd like to go into the pen, he said calmly. Victoria gasped again. Is that even safe? He's a working dog, Barrett replied. He's not looking to attack. He's waiting for direction. Gregory hesitated. If anything goes wrong, I've handled worse. Barrett stepped inside. Hunter remained perfectly still. The man moved slowly, carefully, but not with fear. One final command, and Hunter reacted instantly. Then Barrett crouched beside him, and Hunter gently placed his head on Barrett's knee. He's served, Barrett said as he stood. Most likely military. His reactions, discipline, obedience, none of that comes from civilian training. This is tactical conditioning. Gregory looked stunned. You're saying I bought a military dog, That someone sold him illegally. Or he was stolen, or discharged. Without proper records, it's hard to know. But he's not broken. Barrett replied, he's lost. And you, he added, turning to Lily, did something remarkable. Lily didn't know how to respond. You didn't just calm a dog, Barrett said. You gave him back his purpose. As the group walked back toward the house, the conversation shifted. Barrett offered to reach out to military contacts to trace Hunter's history. Gregory began discussing legal liabilities and necessary paperwork, but Lily didn't follow them. She remained behind, standing with Savannah, who still had her hand resting on Hunter's back. I think you saved him, Savannah said quietly. We saved each other, Lily whispered. Hunter looked up at her, those amber eyes, peaceful. For the first time in years, Lily felt something unfamiliar, belonging. The morning after Dr. Barrett's visit felt strangely normal. The sun rose, sprinklers clicked on. The Whitman estate looked as polished as ever. But something inside Lily had changed. Barrett's words still echoed in her mind. This dog served somewhere. He's not broken, he's displaced. You gave him back his purpose. For the first time since she'd been forced into Hunter's enclosure, Lily felt hope, real, solid hope. The kind that didn't fade when things got hard. But Mr. Whitman's expression after the evaluation stuck with her. The tight jaw, the way he avoided her gaze, it told her one thing. This wasn't over. She was helping her mother prepare breakfast in the kitchen when Savannah burst in, still in pajamas, eyes wide. You need to come outside, she said in a whisper. Karen Harper turned from the stove. Savannah, what's going on? Not good, Savannah replied. But I need Lily, now. Karen gave her daughter a quick nod. Don't be long. Lily wiped her hands and followed Savannah down the hallway and out the back door. The morning sun was already warming the stone patio beneath their feet. Savannah didn't stop until they reached the edge of the yard, near the old shed. He's getting rid of Hunter, she blurted. Lily froze. What? My dad. I overheard him on the phone. Early this morning, he's not keeping the dog. He's arranged for someone from a research lab to pick him up. Lily couldn't breathe. But that's not what Dr. Barrett said. I know, but Dad doesn't care. He says the liability is too big. Unless there's official paperwork from the military, Hunter is still classified as dangerous. Without proof, he can do whatever he wants. When Lily asked, her voice tight. Savannah hesitated. Tomorrow morning. 6 o'clock. A transport van is coming. Lily stumbled back a step. That's less than a day. I tried to talk him out of it, Savannah said. Told him everything about the training, the evaluation, but he won't listen. He's already made arrangements. Lily's hands curled into fists, panic and anger rising. We did everything right. Everything. He's embarrassed, Savannah said bitterly. You did what his expensive professionals couldn't. And he can't handle being shown up not by the daughter of a housekeeper. They ran to find Mr. Delaney. He was pulling weeds by the driveway when Lily came racing toward him. Savannah close behind. He's giving Hunter to a lab, Lily said breathlessly. A research facility. Savannah added. He thinks no one will notice if the dog just ... disappears. Delaney froze, straightening up. I've seen what those places do to animals. That's not training, that's not adoption. His expression darkened. It's experiments. Testing. Needles. Silence. Lily looked up at Delaney, her voice trembling. Can you stop it? He exhaled slowly. Legally. No. Not without official proof that Hunter has a military background. Without that, all we've got is a dangerous dog with a record full of red flags. So that's it? Lily asked. He didn't respond right away. Then finally, no, that's not it. They gathered inside the shed, the door locked behind them. Delaney lowered his voice. There's one option left, he said. But it's not exactly by the book. We'll do it, Lily said, without hesitation. Don't be so quick to answer, Delaney warned. This could cost me my job, maybe even your mum's. What is it? Savannah asked. We get him out of here, Delaney said. Tonight. Quietly. before that van ever shows up. You want us to steal him? Lily asked. Borrow, Delaney corrected. I've got a buddy right-hired handler like me. Lives about 30 miles west, just off Route 17. Place is out of the way, no neighbors. He could keep Hunter for a few days, just until we get official confirmation from Barrett, or someone who can verify his training. Savannah nodded. I'll handle the staff. Keep them away from the cameras. Just tell us what needs to happen. Delaney looked at the two girls, one dressed in fancy pajamas, the other in worn sneakers and scraped knees. You two really are something, he said. All right, we move at midnight. No lights, no noise, no mistakes. The rest of the day passed agonizingly slow. Lily spent the afternoon pretending nothing was wrong, dusting furniture, sweeping porches, walking by Mr. Whitman, without letting her hands shake. On the inside, she felt like a volcano ready to erupt. On the outside, she was stone. That night, she packed a small backpack, chicken strips, a bottle of water, and the worn leather collar Delaney had given her once, belonging to his old canine partner, Rex. At 11:58 p.m., she slipped out of the cottage. Savannah was waiting behind the tennis courts, flashlight tucked under her sweatshirt. Delaney pulled up in an old pickup, engine silent, lights off. He tossed a thick wool blanket into the truck bed. You sure about this? He asked. We don't have a choice, Lily replied. Hunter met her at the gate like he knew what was happening. His ears perked up, and his tail gave a single wag. She clipped the leash onto his collar, knelt beside him, and whispered, We're just leaving for a little while. I'll keep you safe, I promise. Hunter leaned into her, resting his big head on her shoulder like a soldier too tired to stand. Together, they stepped out of the enclosure. No one spoke during the ride. Lily sat in the back, Hunter curled beside her, his body warm and steady. She stroked his back and whispered to him about the stars, about the day she first saw him, about how he was more than just a dog. He was the first thing in her life that ever felt like fate. Around 2 a.m., Delaney's truck turned down a dirt road. A small cabin stood at the end, one window glowing with light. A man in his 60s stepped out, wearing a backward baseball cap and holding a coffee mug. You must be Lily, he said. I'm Tom. Hi, she whispered. He looked down at Hunter and smiled. I've seen that stance before. That's no stray. That's a soldier. Hunter walked up and sat at Tom's feet, his tail thumping once. Yeah, Tom said softly. He remembers, Lily didn't want to leave him, but she knew she had to. As the truck pulled away, she kept her eyes on Hunter until the trees finally swallowed him from view. I'm going to fix this, she whispered. I promise. Back at the estate, Lily crept through the kitchen door just before the sky began to lighten. Her mother stood waiting, arms folded. I know what you did, Karen said quietly. I had to. Karen sighed, then stepped forward and hugged her tightly. I know, she whispered. And I'm proud of you. At 6:03 a.m., a white transport van rolled up the driveway. Two men stepped out, carrying crates and paperwork. Mr. Whitman met them at the front door. Let's just get this over with, he muttered. They walked to the enclosure and found it empty. Gregory's face twisted. Where is he? He turned toward the cottage, jaw clenched. But Lily was already standing on the porch, arms crossed. He's gone, she said calmly. You have no idea what you've done. Yes, I do, she replied. I saved a soldier. The day after Hunter vanished, the air around the estate felt heavy. No one spoke above a whisper. No one smiled. Even the staff walked softer, like the house itself might be listening. As for Mr. Whitman, he didn't slam doors or raise his voice. But the silence he carried was louder than anything he could have shouted. Lily sat on the edge of her bed in the tiny cottage she shared with her mum, staring at her phone. No texts. No calls, not yet. She knew the hardest part wasn't getting Hunter out. It was keeping him safe and making sure everyone else stayed safe. 2. Because once Mr. Whitman got past the initial shock, he would go straight to what he did best, taking back control by mid-afternoon. The fallout began. Karen Harper, report. To Mr. Whitman's office. Whitman's office. She returned, pale and silent. What happened? Lily asked, instantly alert. He knows you had something to do with it, her mother said, massaging her temples. But he doesn't have concrete evidence. Savannah's covering for you told them she was the one who left the gate open. Is she all right? She's grounded until she's 30, Karen replied with a faint, weary smile. But she's standing firm. Lily let out a slow breath. And us? We're safe for now, her mother said. But Gregory warned that if the dog isn't returned or accounted for by Friday, he's going to the authorities. That night, sleep wouldn't come. Lily lay awake, running through every detail how they planned it. The escape, the drive to Tom's place, and how Hunter had curled up quietly next to her, like he finally understood he belonged. But was it enough? Would it last? What if Mr. Whitman actually called the police? What if Dr. Barrett's investigation led nowhere? What if that one act of bravery cost them everything? At 2:13 a.m., her phone vibrated. It was a message from an unknown number. This is Dr. Barrett. I have news. Call me first thing. Don't share this yet. At dawn, Lily stood in the woods behind the estate. Phone pressed to her ear, heart pounding. I made a few calls, Dr. Barrett told her. Had to go through some unofficial channels, but I tracked down a retired handler from the 23rd Military Working Dog Unit. Turns out he knew a dog named Ajaxa, German Shepherd, trained for tactical missions, served in Afghanistan. Ajax, Lily murmured. That's Hunter. Same coat, same behavior patterns, same ID tattoo. He went missing after a botched operation. His handler never made it back, and the military presumed the dog was lost or taken. So what does that mean? I've submitted a report to the Department of Defense. Until they make an official decision, he's classified as a retired service animal and falls under protected status. So, Whitman can't claim him anymore. Exactly. Legally, he has no right to keep or demand him back. You did it. Lily sank onto a log, her breath catching in her chest. We actually did it. Later that day, Dr. Barrett arrived with the report in hand. Lily watched from the side as he calmly laid out the facts: Hunter's true identity, his military record, the circumstances of his disappearance, the Department of Defense's interest in reclaiming him, and Lily's role in preventing further trauma. Gregory Whitman didn't raise his voice. He didn't threaten anyone. He simply stared out the window, like someone who'd just been outmaneuvered by a rookie. This doesn't go public, he muttered. That's up to you, Barrett replied evenly. But if you'd rather not have your name tied to the illegal transfer of military property, I'd suggest you let this go. 2 days later, Lily, Savannah, and Mr. Delaney drove out to Tom's cabin to reunite with Hunter. Tom was waiting outside, leaning casually against the porch railing, a steaming mug in hand. He's been watching the road for you, Tom said with a grin. The moment Hunter spotted Lily, he trotted down the steps, not wildly, not like a pet, desperate for attention, but with quiet, focused joy. His tail wagged low and fast, his body language saying one thing: you're here. Lily dropped to her knees and wrapped her arms around him. I missed you so much, buddy. Hunter nestled his head into her chest and let out the softest, most contented sigh she'd ever heard. That autumn, Dr. Barrett wrote Lily a personal recommendation for a prestigious animal behavior mentorship in New York, and she got in. Every Saturday, she and her mum rode the bus into the city, where Lily studied alongside professionals and veterinary students. She absorbed more in those 6 months than she had in her whole life. But it never felt like school. It felt like purpose. Hunter couldn't stay on campus full-time, but on off weekends, he stayed with Tom or Mr. Delaney. He was still part of Lily's world, always would be. A year later, the estate had shifted to Savannah stopped pretending. She began joining Lily's training sessions. She confronted Chase publicly. She even told her mum she wanted to study veterinary science, not go into marketing as planned. Her mother didn't understand, but she didn't fight it either. Sometimes bravery doesn't come from where you'd expect. The last time Lily visited the old enclosure, the one where it all started, it was quieter, transformed. She stood at the gate with Hunter beside her. He no longer looked on edge, no longer haunted by his past. He wasn't a weapon anymore. He was something new. He was free. And maybe this wasn't the end of the story after all. Maybe it was just the beginning.